Yo, what is up guys, ShinobiEevee here, back again with another video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris and the new DLC number 6, Forget Me Not, and all the good stuff that it had in it, what I thought was about the DLC, and all that good stuff. So if you guys do enjoy this kind of content, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and get straight into this.
昔の俺を見てるようだな。まったくだ。一丁教えてやろうぜ。俺は今この世に。
And we are back. So first thing I want to talk about is all the new maps that they added. So as far as what the DLC added, let's start with that first. It added in at least a good 1, 2, 3, 4 new maps from the DLC that you do play through, and on top of that there is also 5 new DLCs that they did in it. It's basically like a 5-part DLC. So you got first part, you get first boss done, they give you a divine object. In fact, they actually give you a divine object for every single one of the DLCs. In fact, it took me, personally, when I did DLC, it took me like 14 hours in order to even complete all of the DLC for these 4 parts, because there are different parts for it. Now, as far as enjoyability goes, like, I enjoyed this DLC a lot. It included a lot of good stuff. In fact, with this DLC specifically, as far as helping with new players, this DLC, even on hard mode, which is what I played on when I completed it, was like, I was level 96 at that point, and I went to level 110 by the time I was done with the 3rd DLC. And I don't know about y'all, but that is not bad at all. In fact, I think I was at level 108 for the longest time. So it does help you a lot when it comes to leveling up your characters if you're behind on the game, especially if you need to grind for all the new stuff that's in here. So before we start talking about the DLC, let's talk about what it gives you as far as items and its values. So DLC, for the most part, basically Forget You Not, which is the name of the DLC 6, it gives you a lot of stuff. Now, me personally, based off of what I've seen so far, it gives you a lot of XP, because I went from level 96 to 110 pretty dang quick just doing that DLC alone. And there are 5 parts to that DLC, so there are 5 different parts to it, 4 of them being 4 different bosses, and the last one, of course, being the final boss, which is basically all the bosses combined together after you defeat the 4 bosses. Again, due to Administrator kind of doing some interference, and of course Cardinal being Cardinal. So there's that. But as far as the game goes, and basically what it gives you, like when you unlock these new areas and everything like that, it gives you so much stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, just like the area is so huge, and it just unlocks a whole lot of new stuff. So it helps level you up first, and on top of that, the bosses are even harder, and they give you even better drops to be able to level up your gear and even your AI's gear. In fact, if you look around here, if we can find an enemy, we should be able to find somewhere where we can find enemies to drop some XT weapons, like for instance this right here. So got new enemies, or at least stronger enemies. I'm on hard mode right now, so currently right now this thing is level 125, and if we can get a drop here, we'll be able to see what items it gives me. No items there, okay, but let's see what we get from this chest. Now there are a lot of new items, and ooh, they even give you some yellow stones here. I did not know that. So there are even more places to farm yellow stones, or even maybe possibly green stones. But that's mostly this area. There are of course tents and other areas you can check out as well that you can do that are pretty nice. And as you guys can see, after defeating this enemy right here, they actually gave me 2 XT items, both armor actually, surprisingly. So we got XT Forest Armor, which is pretty decent, gives you a strength of 39, special accuracy of 16, secret arts attack of 10, and even a mental focus renaissance on it as well. And we got 2 of those as a matter of fact. So you can get some double drops right here, and it's not too bad. So this game will definitely level you and your game up, especially having played in a while. Like I had, bro. I hadn't played this game in a couple months. When I heard the DLC drop, I definitely was grinding this game to get my level up. But then I decided to do the DLC and basically said, screw it. We're gonna go ahead and just play through the game and see how well we do on hard mode. Because there's no way I'm gonna be able to do crap on death mode with my strongest build being what I have right here, or even my bow, which was actually kind of a little bit worse than my dual wielding build. So there was that as well. Moving on to our next area here, we got Tetris Pass, which also gives you XT items. In fact, the best part about this whole entire new DLC is the fact that no matter what enemies you do fight, they do give you XT items. In fact, that's the one thing that's going to help you level up in this game. On top of that, the enemies will give you a lot of experience no matter where you fight. So if you have friends who have the DLC and you start the DLC at the same time, then you are able to be able to get a lot of good stuff going on with that. Me personally though, I would not recommend doing this if you are not at least a level 90 or higher, because these enemies can take a while to take down, as you guys can see here, even at level 110, which is my max, and with my strongest build, it is taking me even a little while to melt this enemy. And to again, my items and my armor is not exactly strongest, so there is that. But as you can see, the items I get here are different from the area I was just in at, and there's also raid bosses, but those bosses, unlike the ones that are on the normal map that you go and find them on, are a lot stronger and should not be taken lightly, not gonna lie to you. Especially since they're gonna be taking a lot of experience, and on top of that, a lot of accuracy to be able to hit. Now, of course, moving on to the next area that we are in right now, we are basically, it's like more of a peaceful scenery for the most part, and honestly, the Telesuna Basin, which is basically what it's called, is mostly just there for the 3 bosses that it does have, but as you guys can see, mostly a lot of scenery to go on here. It's mostly here for the story, and of course there might be some quests here and there to do, but otherwise it's pretty peaceful for the most part. And now for one of the last areas that is new for this DLC, we have, last but not least, the iciest area, our new ice area, aka the Merida Glacier. Now this area of course gives you XT weapons and also has a lot of stuff that it can do as well. There's a lot of monsters that you can fight as well, and some content that you can do. In fact, with this DLC in particular, they give you a lot of content, some new areas, and of course some new bosses to fight, so there is plenty of stuff to do if there wasn't already when it came to this game, so that is also a plus. Now, other than that, as far as, you know, story-wise, basically the story, the way it works. This story basically now takes place after Medina sacrifices herself to save Kirito when going against the Administrator the second time. In order to get to this point in time, for anybody who's new to this game, you will have to get done with Chapter 6, so you'll have to get through the Kirito story, and you'll have to get done with Medina's story. But for the most part, this basically goes over what happens after Medina is brought back. So, spoilers if you didn't know, Medina does get brought back, but she lost her memory. So, she doesn't have any memory of Kirito or anybody else beforehand. Everybody else, though, as far as the main group is concerned, they do remember her, and I also remember everything that happened beforehand, but she just doesn't remember. Another thing is, Kirito was supposed to go back to the real world, but there was apparently some issues going on the other side, so that's why he's still stuck in the game. So once again, we got another quest on our hands here. Now, me personally, I really enjoyed this story a lot. It was really fun to play with. Me personally, I got myself a lot of good clips from this, a lot of good gameplay from it. I did a 14-hour stream on Twitch, and I had so much fun with this game. I'm not even gonna lie to you, even though it was long as hell. This DLC was fun to basically watch the cutscenes and everything like that. I think this is probably the first DLC where I didn't skip most of the cutscenes, but other than that, as far as DLC goes, I liked how it really helped you level up. You know, as you can see, taking out some bosses here, taking out some giants, all that good stuff. But now this DLC, if you're behind, for anybody who's still getting back into the game or freshly new, if you're trying to get to level 110, which is basically the level cap right now is the time to do it, bro, because that DLC, it levels you up. And even if you don't get to level 110 by then, just run around, knock out some of the monsters if you have the gear to do it, or team up with some of your friends that do have the gear to do it. That's what I did, and you're gonna get to level 110 really quick. It's not gonna be that much of an issue, and I really glad it's not that much of an issue, because it was already hard enough to get me at that point in time to like level 80. So I'm glad that they gave you a lot of XP for the missions. I also like the fact that they actually took in consideration people who are new getting into the game, so that they can be able to level up as well, including the weapons, by the way, because in these areas, like I said before, no matter who you fight in these new areas, you're going to get XT items. Now, are all of them good? No, but they will power you up, especially if you still have the old gear from when we was level 50, or even before then, level 90. And on top of that, of course, you have the 4 bosses in each corner for the previous DLCs, being Xenon, Silica, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Alice, that you get that can get you some pretty good stuff too. But this pretty much helps you to where you can be able to get up to that point, so that you can be able to get ready for the next DLC. So overall, I enjoyed it pretty much a lot, and that's pretty much all I got really to say on this one, honestly. Now, as far as the bosses go, this boss that you're seeing me fight right now, and there's another one, there's a plant type boss, at least for me, as you're seeing me right now fighting this thing, was a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie to you, these bosses are no joke. I was playing on hard mode, and these bosses ain't no joke. The first boss, simple, fine, easy mode. Second boss, a little bit harder, but this one was actually knocking me around with, like, even with the gear I had, and I don't know, I don't have the best gear in the world, but like, I had some pretty good gear, bro. I was doing some pretty nice damage, and this boss was tearing me apart. I think I actually lost against this boss one time. So yeah, no, when you do go against these bosses, make sure that you have the proper gear, or at least play on normal mode or hard mode if you don't have the good gear, because otherwise this boss will kill you a lot. I was lucky enough to beat him the second time, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was lucky enough to beat him the second time, even with my build that I was using right there. Then again, though, I wasn't using my buffs all the time, so, or my debuffs for that matter, so kind of on me on that one. But at the same time, I don't think it would have mattered, because this boss was a pain in the ass to deal with. On the bright side, though, he does give you a spear. So he does give you a spear, which is one of the new weapons in the game. But other than that, like, this boss can be a pain. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Me personally, I really enjoyed it a lot. I like the cutscenes and everything like that. In fact, you're kind of seeing the ending one, which is one of my favorite ones in the world. If I'm being honest, when it comes to this game, this DLC was kind of like the whole Avengers Endgame, where basically as you fight the boss, the final boss, everybody starts coming in one at a time, and it's really good. So for those of you guys who are new and are just getting into this game, definitely you might want to try this DLC out. In fact, this might be the one DLC where you might actually not skip all the cutscenes, because you'll be missing out on some funny stuff unless you just go on YouTube and watch it. But for me personally, I liked experiencing it myself, and it was well worth it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was well worth it. It was nice to come back to this game again, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I hadn't played this game in a little while, but it got me back into the spirit, and I was back to grinding again. So definitely a must play in my opinion. 10 out of 10 DLC for this one. In fact, this one's actually probably better than the other ones that we got as far as story goes and just enjoyability. Even had a good challenge into it. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed, and this is going to be ShinobiEevee signing off. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, put your comments down below, and I'm going to head out. Peace.